And if I had to be another person to stand up, if I think, after really going through this, and looking at the files and looking at the case, if I really feel that Karen Reed didn't do this and I have to be a voice that stands up and helps, I will.
We are expecting to learn more about the allegations against the girlfriend of a Boston police officer who was found unresponsive in the snow Saturday morning. I-Team sources say Karen Reed was in a relationship with John O'Keefe. She's facing charges including motor vehicle homicide and manslaughter.
We're the only ones fighting for the truth of what happened to John O'Keefe. And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Now, just because you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
And no, she didn't do it. No, she didn't do it. This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life.
Yeah.
I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
Why'd you admit to it?
She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that. And you should know that.
That was like 3 or 4 times she admitted to it.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Karen Reed's not going to fold. Karen Reed's not going to give up. Defense team's not going to quit. The Free Karen Reed movement is going to continue. We will continue to raise funds for her. We will continue to do standouts across Massachusetts, across the nation, across the world to let everybody know what's going on here in the state of Massachusetts, the corruption. And we will continue to get the word out there. Believe me. Believe me. Welcome in, everybody. Sunday Super Show here, back here on Let's Talk Live. And it's very busy today. Very busy. We have the big Free Karen Reed national standouts happening across the country.
Yeah.
Lauren and I were out in Dedham this morning to kind of, that's like home base.
Yeah. That's like the home standout. That's
It was
the home
insane that the amount of people there. I counted well over 150 people there.
Really? You counted?
Well, I tried.
I saw Dina counting, actually.
Dina was counting.
She was actually counting. I've never seen a standout or been to one that big before. It was awesome.
It was big. It was, and even people that are the locals that go like every Sunday said that by far is the biggest that they've seen there. I mean, and look we're 2 days away from jury selection. Yep. We're 2 days away from Karen Reed's 2.0 kicking off. We shouldn't be here. There's so much bullshit and corruption and reasonable doubt. I mean, even if you don't want to go, even if you don't buy the story of the framing, there's so much reasonable doubt in this that I don't, they're never ever going to convict Karen Reed, nor should they.
No, it should have never gone to trial the first time. Yeah, we're being honest, but here we are. So we got to keep going for Karen. Yeah, as long as it takes.
It's been crazy, and I'm gonna have some guests that are gonna be stopping in periodically through the show, and I see someone actually in the back room right now. Yeah, and we're gonna bring them in a second. But I just want to welcome and get everybody in here and just let everybody know any donations today, like we always do here during the Free Karen Reed standouts or most of the streams here, 25% of your donation will go back to Karen Reed's defense fund. And also I have the defense fund link that's pinned to the top of the chat. And you can just, if you want to bypass this is fine. You can do that. Just click that link at the top and just put LTL somewhere in your comment or whatever it may be. I might not be able to get up and add them all up, but if you want to donate, they are there. They are there throughout the whole show. So let's do this. Let's bring in. Oh, we lost them. They'll come back. I had a guest, but they'll come back. They'll come back. So wild week, wild week, wild west. I think some of the things that kind of popped up over the last couple of days brought out some people and some nastiness, and I think just some timing of stuff I think kind of stirred some things up. And obviously we're talking about the Betero stream, and I don't want to spend too much time on it because I did address it the other night, but I wanted to just address it since you were here and just apologize to you if I ever put you in any type of situation. I took the heat for everything. It should be on me. I am the creator. I run the channel. And I don't really think it's that much of a big deal. I mean, Mark spoke and basically said, I have no issue with Brian. I don't know why people are making this a big deal, and time to move on. Because the biggest thing is, and I said this the other day in my post, even after, you know, I came out and talked about it, the only thing that matters in this right now is Karen Reed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We don't need the drama.
That's all that matters. So I've moved past it. Lauren's moved past it. We're going to continue to do positive things here on LTL Media. And that's it. I'm kind of done and over it. Yeah. Mark Betterow will definitely be back on my show. I'm probably going to reach back out to him in about 2 weeks or so and see if he'll come over and do a show with us. I like the mashup that we had with Todd McGee, which was great.
Awesome.
And we're going to do that again. So no problems.
Yeah.
It's all over. It's such in the background right now. Yeah. And I respect his choice.
Absolutely.
I respect his choice. If that's what he wants to do, I respect it. And I told him, you can come on my show, super chats off. We'll hang out. We'll have some good conversation, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm not on X for good reason, because the whole day that was going on, I was just living in blissful ignorance. I was at work doing my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know people were talking about you or me until Meredith made a post and I saw that. I don't care one way or the other. I was just helping the channel by posting that. Like, you know, you discussed before, you had asked me to send those messages every once in a while, and you're not doing anything different than other channels. There's nothing wrong with it. And yeah, I mean, it's very hard to hurt my feelings. So and like I said, I'm not on X. I never read the things that were said about me, and I don't care. Exactly. I don't care to. So
yeah.
Oh, well, whatever.
Here's the thing. And this is why I've never overly used guests on my show. Especially people that have been in the field. I ask them to come in to add to the conversation. It's not like I need a guest on all the time. And I ask them to come in because to me, that's a treat. If I can get a Betterow to come on or a Nan Gallagher, Todd McGee, whatever it may be, and just spread them out through the shows. I think that's a treat to the audience. Like, oh, wow, we have a special guest on. So that's just me. That's my platform. That's kind of how I've always done things here. I welcome everybody still to the platform. So if they want to come here and have a conversation, they can. Again, like yourself, I work a full-time job, so I'm not fully immersed in this stuff all day long. I'm not fully immersed in every single motion that comes out or conversation that's on a Facebook group or an X stream. I I don't have all that time for it. All I have time for is to come here, direct people to Karen Reed's defense fund, and kind of talk about what I know and put it through the lens of my eyes and give it back to the audience. So anyway,
Betterow cleared the air. Shouldn't be. Nobody needs to say anything else. And
I'm fine.
This is the one time I'm going to address it, and that's it.
Right.
Like, I just don't care.
We move on. we move on. Anyway, I'm going to bring in this guest here. I got two guests here in the background. They're checking in from a national standout in Florida today. And let's bring in Britt Happens. Let me just bring her up on the panel. I don't know if their screen is on or they froze.
Oh, there's a
and now they're back out. All right, hang on. Let's bring this one on. Hello.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
How are you?
We're doing okay. We're wet.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We're in a beach hut right now in Fort Walton Beach. We're kind of waiting on the lightning and thunder to kind of go down and go back.
It's raining.
It's raining, but we're here. Our signs are shriveled up, but one thing it was a double red flag on the beach, so we ended up going out to the highway. It's a small highway, and there was a good safe spot for us to sit, and we ended up really we got a lot of honks,
lots of them.
Nice.
And there were people who actually pulled off into the turn lane to ask us about Karen, which was really great. We were able to kind of start spreading some awareness down here in the South. So we're proud of what's happened so far, and if the weather kind of dies down a little bit, we'll go back out.
Yeah. Do you guys have one of the Karen Reed yard signs from Erica at the Star Drive-In? Because if not, it would be a good idea to have one, because there's a QR code. So for people who come up, they can just scan it and take it home and get really good information on it. I have one.
Let me show you what I made.
So, you have
look
a
at that.
QR code.
Awesome. You have the QR code.
There you go. QR codes are great.
I mean, they're kind of shriveled up, but
yeah, you are getting some rough weather. I see the waves out in the background. Yeah.
Here, I'll show you the beach too.
Yeah.
The waves are enormous at least for out.
I know. I can see it.
What part of Florida are you in?
Well, we're in the Panhandle right now. We're in Fort Walton Beach. On the island. I love the dunes out here. This area gets a lot of traffic. Lauren's here with me.
Yeah. Hey, Lauren. How are you?
Lauren.
I love your shirt. That's awesome.
Ooh, that's my favorite. I love it.
So yeah, we're kind of sheltering and hoping that the lightning stops so we can go back out. But we just wanted to come on and let you know that it's really going across America and across the world. So.
No, we appreciate you standing out. We were out in Dedham, Mass today, and like I was saying when we came on the show, I mean, there had to have been well over 150 people there. It was insane. And to see that support, so many people driving by, so many people honking in support. We had one person that went by and yelled, they were like, "Oh, she did it! She did it!" And everybody just started laughing. We're like, "Yeah, whatever, dude." But other than that, I mean, 99.9% of the time, there's so much positivity. And, we appreciate your efforts and appreciate your standouts. And like I said, if you continue to do these, people will show up. I'm telling you, if you keep up and you post it in your social media groups or talk about it on your channel, people will show up. Trust me.
We were happy to even be able to do. We planned this like 3 days ago. It really was one of those, like, we just saw that there wasn't one close to us for the National Standout Day. There wasn't one anywhere near us, so we were like, okay, well then we're gonna do one, damn it. And
we did it.
We did. We did the thing.
Awesome.
Good
job, you guys. We love it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get back to what you want to do there. And thank you for doing your standout. I appreciate it. If you haven't checked out Britt, check out her channel on YouTube, Britt Happens. And Lauren's been making some regular appearances too. She's a private investigator that's talked about this case a lot. She's been on my channel and Britt's as well. And hopefully we can have you back here on the show and we'll do a show together.
Awesome. Sounds
Good
great.
to see you guys.
All right,
Bye.
have a good day. Stay dry, damn it.
Well, that ain't happening. All right, free Karen. Thank y'all.
Free Karen Reed.
All right, bye. It was cool.
Yeah. Some people are asking about the sign.
Oh, free Mazza. Yeah. No, he's good. He's good. It's just our support from Mazza today. He's good. He's just taking some personal time and I said we have to put up a free Mazza sign. Yeah. So
he's good, guys.
He's great. He's fine. A lot of people at the Standout in Dedham were asking me about him today. He's fine. He's just taking some personal time right now and just needs to, handle life because we have lives outside of YouTube. Believe me, we have lives outside of YouTube.
Yep.
And he's good. He's good though.
Yep.
But that was cool. Them checking in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we might have a couple of other people checking in. I'm going to send the link out here in a minute. I know some other people from Standouts will be joining and I might have a couple of creators on today that I dropped the link. So we'll have them pop in. But here we are. I mean, let's pull up this article here from today. This is actually out in Dedham. And we have headline here, supporters holding standouts ahead of the Karen Reed murder retrial. And we'll play this little vignette here. We got
the Karen Reed murder's retrial begins this week, and today people are hosting nationwide standouts to show their support for Reed, including in Dedham, where jury selection is set to begin on Tuesday. 7's Kim Lucy is live in Dedham with more on
I
that was
saw
from
her.
The courthouse. Yeah, I saw her too.
Yes, as officials prepare for the second round of a murder trial against Karen Reed, her supporters are out on her behalf, and the ones here tell me they're out here every single weekend. Take a look at where they're gathering here behind me. Now, jury selection set to start Tuesday for Reed's retrial after the first one resulted in a hung jury and a mistrial. These are the supporters we were talking about here gathered on Route 1 here in Dedham, waving their signs and flags and waving to traffic. As I mentioned, Reed is back on trial, starting the jury selection starting this upcoming week after the first one it resulted in a hung jury and a mistrial.
Hey,
Mazza Media checking in.
Scene of a fatal crash.
Mazza Media checking in. He is good. We love him. We miss him. We miss that voice. Miss that voice here in the movement. Bro, I hope you're doing well. I know we talk on a pretty regular basis, and respect your time, and you take care of what you need to do. And we're here for you when you want to make your appearance and come back. So
we'll be here when you return.
It's good to see you. All right, let's finish this here.
With the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Now, prosecutors say she drunkenly ran over him during a blizzard in 2022. Her defense says Reed was framed. Her supporters have been following this case since before that first trial began, wearing pink to protest. Today, they are standing out at dozens of sites across the Commonwealth and throughout New England, including here in Dedham, as I mentioned, along
As
Route
the
1.
crowd building
And
right
in some
there.
cases, even extending
That wasn't even
to Florida,
everybody yet.
South Carolina, Indiana. Some will be at places of business along busy roads like we're seeing here. Others will be at rotaries, some waving down on highways, all in support of the woman they don't believe should be on trial. And we did have a chance to speak with one of them as they were arriving here this morning.
Dina?
Take a listen to what she had to say.
Maybe.
Probably, I think it's Dina. I saw her
just a
doing
hard
an interview.
fight, and it could be any one of us.
Oh, I
It
forget
could
her name,
be
but I recognize
you,
her.
Me, our daughters. It could be anybody, and
Bonnie,
she's
yep.
so strong. She's loved by so many people, and we're here for her. We're here for her to show justice and have some justice for her and Officer John O'Keefe.
It's true.
Now, so there are still several motions waiting for a response from the court before jury selection begins on Tuesday. Now, officials do believe once jury selection does begin Tuesday, it could take several weeks to seat a jury before those opening arguments can be scheduled. We're live in Dedham this morning. Kim Lucy, 7 News, Today New England.
Yeah, there was something special in the air down there today.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could feel
Even though
it.
it was so cold,
Yeah.
there was just magic. There's magic when FKR people gather.
Yeah, but it's extra today.
Extra.
I definitely could
Yeah.
feel it in the air. And
National
you're going to see
standout.
it all across Massachusetts today, which is fantastic.
And the country.
In the country. Yeah. And it's cold. And this is what I said to a lot of people on that stream. They're like, oh, thank you for doing this. I'm like, no, thank you for doing this, because you're sacrificing your Sunday to go stand out.
Yeah.
I was talking about Karen before when she said, I think it was the Labor Day standout. She's like, thank you all for being here. You guys should be all out on a beach somewhere.
Yes, I remember that interview. Yeah.
And it's true. We have so many people that are sacrificing their time on Sunday to come out and stand. And that just tells you so much.
Yep.
And that's what I've always talked about. It's like the ground crew, the boots on the ground people are so important to this movement. I mean, that is grassroots campaigning, that's grassroots campaigning.
Yep.
People that start and stand out there in all types of weather, rain, snow, heat. I mean, if we didn't have that, these trials would be completely different.
100%.
Completely different. And, I really admire and respect all those people that go out there. I dropped a whole bunch of popcorn off today because I did the when Kelly Reed was doing the popcorn donations for Karen, I bought a whole bunch of it and there was so much of it. I'm like, I can't eat all this. So I just cracked the box today. God, there had to have been over 50 things of
little
them.
bags.
Yeah. And I threw them just in a big
huge bag.
Cardboard box and just brought them and dropped them, supply some food and treats to people down there. So
I had one. It's good popcorn.
It's really good.
Really good popcorn.
It's really, really good. So yeah, I mean, this is where we're at. And, just really building up over the last couple days here. And Tuesday is going to be a big day. That starts jury selection. It could go 2 or 3 weeks. I think that the jury instructions need to be absolutely fucking clear this time around.
Yes.
That jury needs to understand that jury slip.
They need to hammer into them what reasonable doubt is. Hammer it into them.
Yeah. And we talked about that. And I talked about that when I did my show the other night. And we showed the opening statement and the closing argument. And only in one time, the opening statement, David Yannetti said reasonable doubt. It was at the very end of his presentation. And then we counted twice. Alan Jackson said it twice in his closing argument, and he said it towards the end. And I think that's something that they need to hammer home this time around. Even if you don't believe, and I've said this like a million times over, even if you're just someone to come in and go, I don't really believe that all these people could have gotten together and did this, this, and that. If you don't believe the framing, you just have to look at the way that this investigation was handled, and that
Yeah.
puts so much reasonable doubt there on the table. It's
Uh-huh.
not even funny.
Yeah. All you need is reasonable doubt. You don't have to believe the frame job, like you said.
Yeah.
And I do think that sometimes the frame job can throw a jury, especially somebody who is not familiar with the case, which they shouldn't be. If they're going on the jury, they shouldn't really have an opinion one way or another. But for somebody that's new to the case or doesn't know much, it can be overwhelming to be presented with that. You know, I think sometimes it can also cause cognitive dissonance. A lot of people that I've talked to in this movement say that it's really hard to accept that there can be corruption like that and how deep it can go. So you really just need to focus on why it wasn't Karen more than anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I just look at the fact of like, even if you don't believe and you just put all that aside, maybe you're new that comes into this case, you just have to look at the evidence, the way that it was collected, the way that it was transposed, the way that things came out weeks and weeks after, the way that you're hearing about Karen Reed's defense team, how literally before every hearing, they're getting new discovery. Well, why wasn't this all up front for them to look at?
Yeah.
Why are we holding all these things out? And then you just look at Hank Brennan, the way that he's, been inserted into this trial. He's just a person that's holding a bunch of monkey wrenches and just throwing them up into everything. I mean, I think he's just an antagonizer.
Yeah.
He's here just to antagonize. He's here to push and bend the law as much as he can. We clearly saw that in the hearings the other day, where he essentially got shut down during that hearing about the text communications.
Yeah.
Judges like, no, like it's not going to happen. And you're seeing a lot of that with even in these hearings.
Yeah.
Even in these hearings. But I think these hearings have been good in the sense for the Reed team to get familiar with how Brennan's going to work and operate in that courtroom. So preemptively, they've had, how many hearings we had? At least 5 since getting up to trial. They've had a good look at this guy. They can analyze him and say, okay, these are the things that he's going to bring forward. These are the things that he's going to talk about. Now, let's start creating a plan to essentially cut down, what his conversations and his points are in this case.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm just going to drop a link really quick here, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. Let's start early today.
Yeah, let's get some calls in.
We'll start early today. Give me a second here. I don't even know what side I'm on. And then we should have a couple more creators popping in and guests popping in throughout the show. And I'm going to drop this person the link. So we'll do that. When they're ready, they can pop on and say hi. Let's see. Where is Mazza? Mazza is taking personal time right now. Mazza is taking personal time. And he'll come back when he's ready. He'll come back when he's ready. Let's see. Let's go to Paula real quick. I like this. She said, you literally only have to believe the physics of ARCA and cell phone data, but honestly, not even that. Physics prove she's not guilty. 100%. There was something by Olivia that came out the other day, and I want to read this. This was yesterday, I think.
Olivia Lambo?
There was a tweet that she put out, and she said, it's been revealed that Officer John O'Keefe's cell phone last activity was user manipulated to lock the phone at 12:32 and 09 a.m. by the user pressing the side of the lock button briefly. To believe that John was hit by Karen Reed's car and killed, you'd have to believe that in his final moment, and despite having sustained an incapacitating head injury, he had the clarity of mind to take his phone out of his pocket and lock it. Of course, though, this would require you to ignore all of the other Apple Health data, movement data, like that, the flight of stairs climb, therefore putting John and his phone inside the house. Talk about what we did when we went out to Fairview the other day.
Do you want to pull up the picture that I posted?
Yeah, your Apple Health data.
Can see it.
Hang on one second. Go ahead. You can start.
So after last week's show, Brian and I drove down to 34 Fairview because I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, and I mean, I generally don't like to do that stuff anymore, but I definitely wanted Lauren, since she's deep in this, and see, kind of what it looks like down there. And we, the thing is like, we walked the road multiple times, and I wanted her to see the curvature of the road, the grade of the road, where they're saying that John, you know, was on the lawn and kind of going through all of that stuff. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, we drove down there. We drove by it a couple times. We walked by it a couple times. And when we were driving away, I looked at my Apple Health data on my phone and went through the stairs, like the flights of stairs that I took, because they tried to say that the elevation in the road caused John's phone to have three flights of stairs. Like, we drove by the house like 2 or 3 times. We walked by it twice, and my phone never triggered any stairs. The only flights of stairs, the first one at 12 a.m. was I got home. I had been out with my friend, and that was me going upstairs to my bedroom. And then the second one was when I got here and I walked up the stairs. And then the third one was when we left and I walked down the stairs. And I forget who said it. I was watching something last night. I think it was actually Glare last night that I was watching with Olivia Lambo.
Yeah.
And one of them said something about how the way your phone picks up steps is based on like the angle that you're walking with.
Okay.
So it wouldn't make sense that a hill would trigger that.
Sure.
So to me, that just shows that John went in the house. He did not, his phone, or I think it was his phone, not an Apple Watch. It didn't trigger because he was walking up a hill. Like we did it multiple times, driving and walking, and my phone never picked up a flight of stairs. Actually, at 9 a.m., where there should be a second line.
Right.
When I left my house that day, because I have 2 stories and I had to walk downstairs.
Yeah.
So if anything, it's gonna not pick up something rather than more likely a false negative than a false positive.
Yeah.
And so that was just like my little thing that I wanted to do and check after we left. And it just doesn't make sense. John had to have gone in the house for his phone to trigger steps.
Yeah.
He had to.
Yeah. And then one of these is you actually coming here because you have to walk up steps.
The second one is me coming here. And the third one is when we left. Because we have to go down the stairs.
Right. So that's basically what Lauren's making the point of the ascensions that she made on stairs. This is in the morning. Yep. This one here is when she arrived here. This is when we left. And then after that time in this area here, we were driving. We walked 34 Fairview and it never triggered anything.
Nope.
So if we went into that house and we walked up or went down, that's the point she's making here. It would have triggered.
Exactly. So to me, it's just impossible because it's like something like a 99% that Apple Health data is correct.
Yeah.
They're just reaching.
I think they pretty much, Apple puts out a good product. So I think they pretty much would have all this stuff calibrated considering all the engineers that they use, to design these phones. So Melissa says there's this national aware is only because of the work and sacrifice of the independent media sources of LTL, Turtle Boy, Young Jerks, and all. Maybe that's what you're saying.
This means etc. basically.
And etc. We choose to support because we no longer want to depend on the mainstream media. And I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And that's why people come to these channels. Tsunami channel member and a good dude and a moderator. He says, question, how many stairs goes you iPhone show?
Does your iPhone show?
When you fly from point A to point B? I don't know.
Well, I am a frequent flyer, as you know. I take a lot of flights. I took 20 flights last year between all my travels.
And it didn't trigger.
I don't think I ever remember it triggering because I check my steps and my stairs and stuff. I've never had my flights of stairs triggered on a plane.
On a plane flight.
No, because I'm not walking.
Yeah.
Like you might be ascending in like a plane, but you're not. I don't know.
It must know something where this action.
There's a movement.
Yeah, there's a movement action that it's triggering.
Yeah.
That's what I would guess.
Yeah.
But that's a good question, a good call out.
Yeah.
But she's frequent flyer. She goes back and forth to DC.
Yeah, not as much anymore, but I was. And I have some of my best friends live across the country and I travel a lot. And I went to Europe last year for couple weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I got a lot of stairs and steps in Europe because you have to walk everywhere. But but never when I was on any of those planes, even when you're walking down like I don't know what it's called, but like the runway thing that attaches from the plane
Yeah,
to the,
yeah.
I forget what it's called, but nope.
Concourse. No, that's the concourse is when you walk into the area.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone
But
must know in
no,
the chat.
like that little runway area. Sometimes that actually does have a decline and a little bit of an incline.
Yeah.
But it's not steps.
Yeah.
So it's not registering it as a step, even if I'm walking uphill.
Yeah, it's got to know that action for some
Yeah.
reason. Debbie says, I've never had my
Jetway.
flights triggered on a plane,
Mm-mm.
even on my last flight to Ireland a couple weeks ago. So
Nope.
there you
Yeah.
go right there too.
No, it just doesn't make sense. They're
Yeah.
bullshitting us.
Yeah.
With that one. I'm
100%.
sorry.
So let's do this. We'll open up the phone lines earlier today. I want people to call in. Let us know how you're feeling. I mean, we're 2 days away from jury selection. I'll give you 5 minutes to sound off on the phone, and then I'm just going to cut the call because I want to try to get in as many as we can today. I only ask people, Jetway, thank you. When you call in, and if you hear someone on the line, please don't keep calling because you'll hear the call waiting pop in and out. So let's do this. I'm going to bring up the phone lines here, unmute it, and we'll put the phone line up on the screen. You can call the show now at 339-364-8881.
I love doing the calls.
Huh?
I love doing the calls.
Yeah, let us know how you feel. Are you frustrated? Should we be here? What do you think about jury selection? What is the evidence that is so overwhelming that this is, Karen Reed did not do this? Let us know your opinion today. Yeah. I definitely want to hear. Let's see. Me and Myself says, Brian, the post from Olivia makes perfect sense. I worked out a timeline that shows Karen couldn't do that.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no way. And I think that we're going to hear a lot more about John's phone in this trial coming around.
I think so too, especially now that the locking thing came out.
Yeah.
And like you were talking about before, the temperature.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big deal. Because personally, I think that if John had been out there since 12:30-ish, like they said, by the time he was found, especially on top of the injuries he had sustained, if he'd been out there that long, I can't believe that he would have been alive at that point and hadn't already passed from hypothermia.
Give me 2 seconds. I forgot to turn my phone on.
Oh.
So people calling in, I'm sorry. Let me just turn the phone on. And while we wait, we got B Mike in the house. What up,
There
dude?
he is. Hey.
Can you hear?
Let's go, people.
What up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. I saw you in Dedham. I was all excited. Esty was at one side of the corner. And
I know.
Esty, loved seeing her.
And I was just like, wow, they haven't even bumped into each other yet. I'm like, wow, that's a big crowd. That's a big crowd. She was hugging everybody. You guys are hugging everybody. I'm like, this is fucking great.
It was huge.
Good vibes. Good vibes all around.
Yeah, there was
I was
so
like,
many.
I was get perked up. I was like, wow, look at all the hugs and love and beeping. And I'm like, this is out of control. And then Tommy was down here. He was down there. He was over there. Will jumped on, and the Broken Baker was on. It was a love fest.
Where is Tommy today? Is he driving all over the place?
Yeah, dude. He's like the mobile new Center 5 truck. It goes in the weather, and he's right now. He is. I checked out at the Taunton Green. And I don't know where he is right now. He's taking pictures with everybody. He's having
nice.
Hey, get a picture. Little kids are running up to him, hugging him and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're well. I mean, it's just, we're anticipating 2.0 and, tensions are high and nerves are high and, we want a fair jury. So, that's what we're looking at. Let's take this call, Mike.
You got it, brother.
All right. Welcome in. This is Let's Talk Live. You're live.
And I just want to say I enjoy your show, Brian. Similarly, so I'm trying to. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. You're live.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm just really very nervous. I just something behind the scenes is making me very, very nervous. I just really hope that the defense really hammers home reasonable doubt, because there are probably 100 forensic reasonable doubt concerns with this case. And then, of course, there's ARCA, which is factually innocent. I'm just really hoping that the defense can tie all of this together for the jury, because Hank is so dishonest. It scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's snaky. He's a snaky dude. And that's what I said too. And I think maybe Mike can probably say and agree with us, is I think hammering home reasonable doubt this time around. I think we're going to hear it a lot more. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I was talking earlier, and if the ARCA people can display a chalk or a video, can she hear me?
Can you hear Mike?
I can't hear Mike. No, I can't. But I'm just very, hopeful. I really think the ID show that she did I think it helped. I think it humanized her. Why would you tell the truth about how much you had to drink, but then lie about other things?
Right.
I mean, it just, to me, she was so truthful. I mean, people who are not talking are people who have something to hide. In my opinion, if I was a juror, I know that they say, don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. But I mean, you get to the point 3 years into this, it's just like, wait a minute, I have not been able to tell my story yet. And I can see where she'd want to tell her story. I don't know. I came into this time last year thinking, okay, yeah, right. Let's hear your story about how you're not guilty. And I'll tell you, if you watch that trial one, you see the corruption unfold in front of you. It's scary. It's scary. I never thought going into trial one I would come out feeling like she was innocent, because I came into it thinking she was guilty. I was very apprehensive.
Wow.
Well, I love to hear that.
And I stand firmly
that you changed your mind.
that she is not only is she not guilty, she is innocent and factually innocent. And I'm nervous about why that jury last time was so confused about that. It was so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is obvious.
You went into this.
Anyway,
you went into this thinking that Karen was guilty, and then seeing, going through the hearings and trial, it changed your heart and mind.
100%, Brian. I didn't watch any pre-trial. I work nights, so I saw a lot of the trial in the morning, and then would watch the rest of it when I got off. And I just, let's tear apart the police investigation. Is defense. Every defense uses that, right? So as the layman, somebody just passing by, myself at that time, would say, oh, yeah, okay, you're just going to use the excuse everybody else does. Okay, let's just see how this benefits you like it did nobody else. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then the inverted video, I said, no, she's innocent. There's not this many coincidences.
Yes.
Yes. You nailed it right there.
The 227 search.
Yeah. The statistic probability
is.
I mean,
I could, the litany of there's an attorney who I've been watching lately, and there are 100 forensic issues that point to reasonable doubt. And then you have the ARCA. And, my father used to always tell me, knowing what you don't know is more important than what you do know. And you have to be able to say, okay, I have to rely on these scientists with the PhDs, because they are going to place this together. They're a third party. They didn't know who Karen was. They were hired by the FBI.
Yeah.
Yep.
How these people benefit nothing. They couldn't care less if it was Karen at fault or the McCabe's at fault. They did not care.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
that was just so.
Yeah.
That just seems to be getting, people say, oh, well, they didn't have the car, they didn't have this.
Mm-hmm.
They have enough education. They had enough with what they did have with Karen's car, and then what they did have with John O'Keefe's autopsy photos. should put together a very accurate study and come out with a very accurate result.
Well, you would be a very smart juror if you were on this jury. So
I wish I could be. I wish I could be. I'm all over Facebook saying these things because I'm like, if the Commonwealth is going to play dirty, then I'm going to put this out there and hope a jury.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling.
Which, you know, all right.
No, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You do. Oh, no, I just wanted to thank you for your time and appreciate you for everything that you do for Karen. And I hope she knows that she's got a lot more supporters and believers than not.
Thank you for your call. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
I think we got Scott ready to join.
Yeah, I'm going to bring Scott in here. Scott, what's going on, buddy?
Hello.
Got a crowd out there. You're up in Auburn today, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We got like 14 people here.
Nice.
You know, Dedham was wild, man.
Yeah, Dedham was wild. There's so many people.
There had to be at least 120 people there. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was wild down there.
Did Karen show up at all today? I don't know if she did.
I didn't see her out today.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's probably best advised by lawyers to
if she says the wrong hello, they're gonna use it against her in court. I know. Hank's gonna confiscate all the tapes from everybody and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, like usual, when you do these bridge standouts, the traffic noise is a little tough, and of course, I forgot my earbuds. But I can hear you if I hold you close to my ear.
Okay.
No, I appreciate you checking in. It's I just want to tell everybody there that thank you so much for doing this and standing out with us today. I know Scott was down in Dedham earlier today. Huge crowd down there, and then made his way up to Auburn. So let all those fine people behind you know that we really appreciate this. I know Karen appreciates it, and I know the world is appreciating it right now.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Ray, we're live on Brian LTL.
Ryan, what's up?
All right, love it. Thank you so much for standing out. We appreciate it.
About to deer up here, huh?
Yeah.
The traffic,
Ray, he runs the standout here on the Bancroft Bridge going over the Mass Pike.
Oh, there you go. You got some.
Wow.
Yeah, we get a lot of westbound traffic on the Mass Pike here in Auburn.
Nice.
But it can be a little loud.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I was coming Mass Pike westbound after leaving Dedham, and I was somewhere in the Framingham Natick area, and there was a bridge standout that I drove right under. So I, do the beep and everything.
Yeah. Great. No,
the Amazon Prime trucks love us here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's like one every 5 minutes that drives by.
That's awesome.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I'll let you get back. Thanks for checking in, and I'm sure I'll see you in the next couple of days out in front of the courthouse.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
I'll be watching.
All right. I appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking in.
Yeah.
Mike, look at this. All over the place. Everybody's checking in. National Standout Day, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I've been on this morning with Tom, my co-partner.
Yep.
And the energy in Dedham it got me going. Like when Esty got there and you were there, I saw it, and all of a sudden it was like, woo! Man,
I got a selfie with Esty. I finally loved it.
Right? I was like, this is fucking amazing. Can I swear? This is amazing. I'm like,
fuck yeah.
So I was like, and then and a couple other people jumped on, and we had the baker on, and Will was on, and it was just flowing around. We started talking. It was good, man. I was watching you at the same time, and hugs and kiss. Like everybody knew everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't their first time meeting. It's like, hey Bob, what's up, man? And it's like everybody is like, hey, glad you're here again. Glad to see you out here again.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's take this call, Mike.
Go ahead, Paul.
All right. Welcome to LTL. You're live. Who do we got?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're well. How are you? Who do we have on the phone and where are you from?
I am Diane, and I am from Durham. Well, I live in Durham, North Carolina. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Nice.
And I just wanted to say I had been watching true crime shows for a while, listened to them walking work, being to pass the time. And the first time I saw John's arm, my words were, "That's a dog bite."
See that
Really?
right away.
Wow,
The first time I saw those pictures, I immediately said dog bite.
Really? Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's when I started getting really interested in the trial. And I started following all YouTubers and even went on the freaking void of Twitter to catch up on information. And I just want to thank you, Brian, for all that you have done for Enrique, for Karen, for that gentleman in New York at the prison, for everything. I think you have the absolute biggest heart in the world and the purest intentions.
Wow. I appreciate that.
And I want to thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know, look I'm just a portion of the pie. I mean, we have a couple of people on this panel today, Lauren being here, Mike on the panel, the people have checked in, everybody in this chat, you know, the people that support Karen all around the nation. It takes a complete, you know, all those pieces to put it together to make it a full pie. Everybody does their part in all of this, and whatever causes that they bring to awareness. But, you know, today is like the big one. This is for Karen Read today. And I really do appreciate you saying that, but it doesn't happen without all of these people, the people on the boots on the ground today that stood out there. And it's cold here in Massachusetts. I mean, it's cold. It's not warm this time of year. We get some long lasting winter here that kind of likes to kick us in the butt at the end, but all those people make the difference. I mean, they sacrifice so much time.
Yeah.
Right. It's awesome.
I agree. And I you know, Mike and Tom and even Aiden and you know everybody.
Mike.
And the boots on the ground people amaze me what they go through when they're out there, rain, sun, shine, snow, everything. And I wish I could do more.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I hate to tell you, but it's almost 80 degrees here right now. And I'm thinking about turning on the air conditioning. But I wish I could be up there with you guys. I had some friends in Massachusetts. And I just really wish I could. Unfortunately, I can't travel right now. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate you, all the boots on the ground people, all the people who donate, everybody. I just want you to know I appreciate, and please, dear God.
Amen. Thank you so much.
This trial has got to go the right way.
Yeah,
it will. I'm scared. Brendan scares the shit out of me.
It will. You have as much as this guy is a snake, you know, as much as this guy is a snake, we have, you know, some of the most brilliant, well-prepared lawyers on Karen's team that's going to get her through this and show this jury this time around. There's so much reasonable doubt in this case. I mean, there's no way that you can convict Karen Read. This is absolutely it doesn't add up, right, Mike? It doesn't add up.
I can't make the math. Nope, not even close. No,
we appreciate you calling. What's that?
It's like, I'm to be literal people, you know, it's like common sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true.
I 100% agree.
And I want to smack those people upside the head.
That's assault. That's assault. You can't do that.
Hammer home. Yeah, they definitely need to hammer home the reasonable doubt thing.
I think they will.
If nothing else,
I think
that has to be 100%.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to let other people call in, but thank you so much for taking my call.
All right.
Bless you guys. I want you to know how much I appreciate everybody. And please, free Karen Read.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day. Thanks for calling. Or we get another one here. Hello, you're on Let's Talk Live. Who do we got?
Hi, my name is Kathy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. I'm here. Let me get rid of, I think background. I'm not sure. I got myself. Anyway, I live here at the top of California, right before you go to the Oregon border.
Wow.
Nice.
I discovered you guys about a year ago. It's when they had the pictures of Officer John O'Keefe and common sense. My first look was he was beaten to a pulp.
Yeah.
Paul O'Keefe himself said
I had
that.
heard nothing about anybody else's coverage. I've never seen anything. I can't even remember whose channel I clicked on. But I've been lucky enough to watch all of you guys, which you guys have all been fantastic. But common sense. There is no common sense in anybody's reaction to this. I mean, the first thing you can see is they ganged up on him. He had defensive bruises on his knuckles. You could tell the dog was attacking at the same time. So he's moving his arm.
All right.
But he was literally beat to a pulp. It went too far. He fell backwards, hit his head on something, made him vomit. So, he's in a sitting position where it went down his underwear, his shoes. I mean,
wow.
Why can't they see this?
Yeah.
When people have a
I'm
traumatic
just a
brain injury, they often
69-year-old
seize and vomit.
woman, that just looked at the pictures one time, heard a little information, and it's like, where's the bruising? Nothing to know neck.
Right. Yeah. Nothing below the neck. You're right.
Common sense.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not so common though.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
stand out in San Diego
think
today.
A lot of the, I don't even know what Gen X means, but the older generation, like I said, I'm 69. I think anybody over the age of 50 has a whole lot more common sense than somebody that's under the age of 50.
Hey, now I'm 31.
Oh, the punches are coming out.
My son is 50.
Oh.
But they have common sense.
The chat just went dead.
It doesn't make sense whatsoever.
Oh my God.
I tried
I'm a millennial.
posting on Claire's last night, but I think I had too many letters and it didn't go through. But I can remember back in the first grade, there was a little song they taught us. Sticks and stones may break our bones, but words can never hurt us.
Yeah.
And the stupid thing about him being prosecuted for hurting somebody's feelings.
Right.
Oh my God, we'll all be in jail.
Yeah. No,
right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for calling in today. We appreciate it.
I do appreciate shows. I do watch it a lot. I do click on it. I share it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And you guys are doing a great job. And boy, Karen is one lucky lady to have all you millions of people behind her to stand up for Officer John O'Keefe. He didn't deserve this.
No.
They were looking for a fight.
Yep.
You're a smart lady. You figured it out.
Thank you for all you guys do, and I'll let you guys go.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Have a blessed rest of your day.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks.
All right. She's been watching. She understands what's going on. She had everything down pat.
Mike, I mean, it's funny that the people that watch and view, I mean, they pick up more stuff than us sometimes, you know what I mean? Yep. It's crazy.
We remember it again. We're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, let's take this call here.
You got a point.
Welcome. You're on Let's Talk Live. Who do we got?
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
It's Sophie.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well.
Who is it?
Sophie.
Oh, Sophie. I kind of cut over. Hey, girl, what's up?
I'm good. How are you, Lauren?
I'm good. I'm good. We're just hanging out here today, having a good time, supporting Karen.
That's good.
Great to hear from you.
I'm frustrated that we have to go through all this again.
I know.
It sucks.
It does. It does. But
do it.
Yeah, I'm happy to see all the support too. And like Brian said, the turnout in Dedham today was crazy. I've never seen it like that before. People are really heated up for this second trial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sophie,
it's good to see all the support.
Did you go out to any of the standouts today? Are you having any at all, or?
I didn't make it to any out today.
That's okay.
That's okay. We know that you support.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it out to court someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do. Everybody is very welcoming there.
Yeah.
The crowd is very welcoming.
Yep. I'm gonna try to make it there.
Yeah,
this
it'll
time
be
too.
fun.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it would be great to see you at a standout someday too. I'd love to meet you in person. So try to get out if you ever can, for sure.
Yes, I definitely will. I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys.
Please do.
We
Please
can't
do.
wait to shake your hand and say hello in person.
Exactly.
Boom.
We're pretty cool.
We're gonna take another call, but I appreciate you calling in.
It's great to hear from you, Sophie.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care. All right, you're on Let's Talk Live. Who do we got and where you from?
What's up, Brian? It's Matt from Fort Myers. How are you?
What's up, Matt? What's going on?
Thought it was
What's up? We just did our standout down here in Cape Coral.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Matt.
there was a lot of three of us, but we had our signs. People did their beeping.
Yeah.
We had people like stopping saying, "Hey, is that the girl from the documentary?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, that documentary."
That's those documentaries.
What I wanted you to dig into and really for trial 2 is new evidence. So we were talking about this at the standout.
Yeah.
So just recently I've been seeing some stuff floating around about the last action on John's phone.
Yep.
Was a physical press to lock the screen.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
So
That's important.
that didn't come out in the first trial.
No. And the funny thing about it, Matt, is
So
this.
then we got that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the funny thing about it is if you watched part 2 of the Ted Daniel interview when Karen was driving around in the SUV, I said to everybody, and I think Mike can agree and Lauren can agree on this because we've talked about it, there's a lot of Easter eggs that Karen talked about in that interview. And she said, and I remember because I was just watching it before you showed up, she said, I have John's phone. I think they meticulously went through it this time, and I think there is going to be a lot of things that they bring up.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
There's another thing too. Was the what the heck was I thinking about? It was they have. So here, by the way, I don't know what I was thinking about, but here's what I think happened. I think, and I saw this on somebody else's channel this morning. I think Higgins' SIM card still exists, and I think his best friend at the FBI has it. Wow. I think that's his insurance, so they don't turn on him.
Wow.
That's an
interesting take.
If I did throw it away, I would have cracked it.
Make it unusable. Yeah.
If I did throw it away, I would have cracked it. That's what he said on the stand.
Yep.
Ooh.
So I think it still exists, right? And I think that's his insurance.
He is on the witness list. Matt Kelch is on the witness list.
I think Albert. I think the motive was Higgins, but I think Albert had the temper and punched him.
Yeah.
And then I think Ellen jumped in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the
that's
story
why you
that
have the
I've,
three culprits.
yeah, that's kind of the story that I've always gone with.
Me too.
Yeah. I that's the speculation that I have in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what Nan said the other day on a channel, I think she said it on Mike's channel, was oh, once all this is said and done, don't expect to hear the end of Brennan. He's going to have to come to Jesus with the stuff he's been doing, because he's going to get called to the carpet with the Bar Association and other people, she was saying. She's saying she doesn't recommend people go on filing stuff against him, but he has to own up to what he's done.
Yeah.
And that's going to come down the road.
Yep.
I agree. I totally agree. And I like your synopsis of what you think, what happened in 34 Fairview. I mean, obviously we don't know. We're not there. Only those people know that happened. But I think it's pretty much the story that I followed all along as well, too.
I've always thought that too.
Yeah.
Highlight that really quick.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate all three of you decorated dudes and women. We're having a good time.
No, he
We're
said
getting ready.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, thank you,
thanks for
Matt. I
calling.
appreciate it. Thanks for calling in. All right, we got another
All right,
special
I'll be
guest.
following you along all your nightly coverage going forward now.
All right,
Hang
brother.
in there.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, we're gonna bring in another guest here. We have Jason checking in, not Haley on X. What's up, dude? How are you?
Hey, everybody, what's
man?
happening?
Hey, what's up, man?
Good to see you. Yeah, I just got back from our little Bristol, Connecticut standout. We were small but mighty. There was 3 of us out there on the side of the road, and even as far away from Canton as Bristol, Connecticut it is, we had lots of people beeping and waving and familiar with the case, and not a single person, we didn't get any dirty looks. We didn't, there was a couple people that looked puzzled, but we didn't get any dirty looks. We didn't get any middle fingers. So it's much like standing out in front of the Canton Police Department, where you have overwhelming community support driving by, beeping and waving.
We had one hater by the hour that we were down there in Dedham. We had one guy that came by in his big oversized truck, and usually when you have those big oversized trucks, you're compensating for something else. You're screaming out the window like, "Oh, she did it! She did it! She did it!"
And he was like, "She did it!
And everybody was just like laughing at him. So we know the secret. We know the secret.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I have to say, I kind of got added into a Facebook group of Connecticut Free Karen Read people, and the movement's growing here in Connecticut. We know our friend Britt Happenings has things going on there in Florida. Britt Happens had a big standout today on the beach, and all kinds of. This is amazing. This really is. You're starting to feel, it's always been a movement, but it's felt like, it's a movement between me and a bunch of my friends. You know what I mean? And we get together on the sidewalk and we do things like this, but you're really, I think the trolls were counting on the ID documentary doing all kinds of damage, but honestly, it just raised more and more awareness about this case, and it really is turning into something even bigger.
I agree.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And if not, we even look at just the documentaries come out. They've been pretty religiously the same. But you know what? I think it's still as shitty as all of those have put Karen into this light. I tell everybody, go back and watch that Ted Daniel interview of part 2. I think that really humanizes who Karen really is. Smart, intelligent, on it, honest. And documentary series, they like drama. Everybody likes drama. They want to see confliction, and why do people watch Big Brother, and why do people watch these shows?
Right, Survivor, the
next week, let's see if Mary's gonna talk to Jimmy, all that stuff. So it's like, I think they're gonna tailor that to bring people in. But I will say this, and maybe Lauren will agree with me, and if any of you watched the ID series, I think part 3, the last part of that, was probably the best. I would say promoting Karen more in a positive light.
I do agree.
I think they did a good job on that. I understand they want to front load it and get people in off, blah, blah. But I think at the end was more, what we know and see of Karen. So
I only watched the first 2, so I'll definitely have to go back and complete it. The funny thing is you see all these criticisms, right? And they are like, they're about her demeanor, like, she doesn't behave like someone should in this circumstance. This always floors me when we're talking about people in any situation where they have like a loved one that died, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like a husband who lost his wife and then they start dating again and everyone's like, is it too soon? Is it not too soon? Like human behavior is a complex thing. And like people don't understand the element of anger that she has at being in this situation. You know what I mean? Like as she should. It's absolutely correct. She's in this situation where she's being attacked relentlessly, not just charged with murder. You know what I mean? It's she has these people who are out there and they're organized to sit there and Karen's a killer. Look at their Twitter handles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Karen's angry tampon. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So for all of the things that they say, well, she's got all these supporters and they're bullies. Like, look around. Like this, it's a contentious thing. And she has every right to feel about it the way she feels about it. But none of that gets past the fact that any one of us could be Karen Reed. Any one of us could be in that situation. We don't know how we would react. But this is bigger than just Karen Reed, the person. I happen to know she's a very nice person.
She is.
She's a great, great.
But this is bigger than Karen Reed, the person anyway. Yeah. So you have this situation and you look at all the related things and you move into Sandra Birchmore and Enrique and all of these things. And we're not talking about Karen Reed anymore. We're talking about how, corrupt government can basically exercise its will regardless of the protections that are out there. And if people don't stand up, we're all going to get steamrolled.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And
it can happen to Karen. It can happen to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, that
it already has.
Yeah.
It's happened to a lot of people.
And the sick thing about it, Mike, is that it's all the same people that are involved in it. You know what I mean? Or have ties to it.
Yep.
That's right. And they're in jail and they're shaking the shoulders like, I'm innocent. It didn't happen that way. And they're basically saying, well, you don't have the resources. We're going to outspend you. We're going to outlure you. We're going to drag it out for 5 or 6 years. We're going to take everything you got until you plea out. Yeah. And thank God that they picked the wrong girl. They picked the wrong girl. Good.
You're right. And that's what they're counting on, is that they have the unlimited pocketbook of the government and that's it. And now couple that with, I was looking through Twitter yesterday and we see all of these people that are like, I've now filed a complaint about the fundraising with the Attorney General's office and we've done all this stuff. You have all of these people who are regular citizens who are banding together to try and prevent people from raising money to fight a murder charge, like, and to stand up to the government. It's unfathomable to me. How can you not be in this situation where, talk about bootlickers? You're going to sit here and say, not only am I not going to stand up against the government, but I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure that you can't either.
It's crazy. And that's free will. I mean, we don't make anybody push a button or make someone go to a standout. I love this one too. These fucking people that are out there. I think there was some TikTok people recently. They're literally saying that we're getting paid. Well, I'm still waiting for my check. Yeah. It's been 2 fucking years. They said that we're literally getting paid by the defense and Karen Reed. We're getting paid in all of this. That is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard, because I ain't got no check in my bank account that came from anybody. I mean,
the only way I'm getting paid is in my heart, man. Right through my heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Feeling my heart away. The feeling I wake up every day, know I'm on the right side of justice. The feeling I have every day, giving my time, energy back to the cause, back to everybody else, back to the haters. If the problem with Karen Reed's case is the facts.
Yeah,
and they have none of the facts or evidence on their side to even come up with a plausible deniability or plausible accountability for her to even do it, because everything's been debunked. Now the jury, we can talk about, they were just 68 witnesses rallied to death. For them to come up with some of the things they said, and thank goodness that we had Ronnie on there to give us that insight. And now we have a juror that's on the defense team that was an alternate. We are like the Yankees back in the 40s and 50s that just won 27 in a row. Like, if she can figure out, well, that was a little too much and too heavy. It was too analytical. We need to bring it down a little bit. I'll use the word dumb it down for like me. Should we pick different area codes use a different demographic, go more blue collar, white collar, stay out of Dover, stay out of Brookline. I don't know. That's up to them. But that lady, I forget her last name, and I apologize.
Yeah.
That joined the team. She is going to be, if she doesn't speak a word during the trial, I don't care. It's the pre-trial where the game is won.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree. It's invaluable. Her insight as to what happened in the room now. Granted, you're going to have a whole different set of jurors, and nothing is set in stone, right? But that kind of there was that TV show with the NCIS actor. I forget what his name was, but it was about jury consulting, and you have this. And you have this idea to go in there and be able to actually get in the minds of how their presentations were received on both sides. So, so you really have the ability to hone your offense and your defense as you go into that,
Yeah.
2,000 potential jurors are going to be called this week.
Crazy.
That's so many.
They had 400 last year.
Really? Wow. What
is So I think you don't need a juror, pro to say, hey, listen, this person was wiggling or tapping their foot. I think you just go by zip codes.
You know what's funny, Mike?
Good.
I was gonna say the other day, we have security pickup at my work for the cash that comes through our company, and they came to pick up some deposits, and I always try to talk to like people that are close to law enforcement, security guards, whatever it may be, corrections officers, and I said to them, "Hey, do you guys know about the Karen Reed case?" And they both looked at me like I had squid coming out of my eyes, and it's like, there are still a lot of people out there that haven't heard about this. And it was a genuine look. They're like, no. And then when I started to give them the cliff notes, they were like, oh no, I want to look into this now. So I mean,
shit. Oh, wow.
It's crazy to think like, listen, the jury, is there probably a large percentage of people that have heard about this? Yeah. But I think there is still that small percentage that really, maybe they're not watching the news or, they're true crimers or whatever it may be. But the jury's going to be a little scary, I think. But I think there's more pro Karen Reed people than there are people against her.
Absolutely.
It's not even close. Yeah. It's not even close.
95.5, I would say.
Easy.
In the state. Easy. But my problem is that I feel that the jury was really college educated teachers, professional, white collar. I think you need to mix up maybe even a color. You know what I mean? I think you need to go that route. I mean, almost where people are oppressed by the police. Randolph?
I think you're right on the money there, because people live in their castles. You know what I mean? Like you have this situation where I have certain ones of my friends who I haven't even bothered to try and talk to about the case, because no matter what, they can't see beyond the only people that claim the police do anything wrong are criminals. The only people that, you know what I mean? And I come at this from the angle of being a police supporter. I always want to make sure I reiterate that, but I also believe in accountability. And I have friends that will just be like, well, if they're making up evidence, then it's just because they know something that they can't get in, so she deserves it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just see this mindset of people because they haven't actually lived on the level of being in the streets and seeing them actually treat people poorly, seeing them do things that are unethical, seeing them do all of this. So they still have this kind of idealized version and the truth is that police officers are just people, right? Like some of them are great, some of them are horrible or whatever. But when you try to take people as a group and idealize them and do these things, that you end up in this situation where it's hard for people to believe that anything like this could occur. But once you start to get information and you start to talk to the Gen Roots and you start to talk to these people and see the actual real life situations that we know happen, it's not a stretch. It doesn't become a stretch to say like, this actually could be.
And I think the banger too is just the former trooper Proctor, lead investigator, who's not a trooper anymore, talked about in court, should open some eyes on the juror and say, what? Okay, so the trooper that the lead prosecutor, who didn't even write an accident report, Kent Police, is not on what happened, and then they can open up that window of why the Texas will come out. I'm sure there's more on there about other cases, i.e. Walsh, the doctor right now, who's Turek, out of Dover. that's being on the stand right now with Reddington's lawyer.
Yeah.
What did he have in his phone when he found out it was a woman, in an age bracket that was, good looking or not, whatever? What did he say? Now, is it going to affect that case? Like how to fix a drug scandal? The fallout on that was it was like 14,000 people had their cases retried or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that that's what they're thinking about right now. How much could he have jeopardized other cases?
Yeah.
Not only him, but DeChico, Tully, Fanning,
all of them.
Right down the line. You guys agree with that? And now
Yeah.
you want to find a jury pool that has someone that maybe in their family was wrongly done or arrested for the wrong reason or was beat up, assaulted, told to do this or to do that in a parking lot, or I can let you go home free. Those things are all coming out. Now, I grew up as trust the police.
Yeah.
You're in trouble, flag one down. I had one live in my street. That's how I grew up. So to come up at this age and be like, what do you he did what? No. Come on. They would never do
It's
that.
hard to accept.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching LV Cops last night and they were talking about how, police officers are human and they're going to make mistakes, but a mistake is like a poor, they judge something wrong or whatever. It's not like a deliberate thing like what Proctor was doing. And I also grew up, I have law enforcement in my family. I have military. I grew up, respect the police, but we're not anti-police. And I think that's so important.
Yeah.
We are anti-police corruption. And there's a difference. There's a huge difference. But yeah, I mean, there's also a difference between making a human mistake and making a deliberate
intentional.
Being intentional. Yeah, exactly.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
Again. So I would like, if talking about the Archer and how it wasn't really an issue with Ronnie, like how they forgot about it. So that gives me an actual game plan to say, okay, we need a chalk or we need a video of how the car allegedly would have backed up, what would have really happened if he was hit by, because even the way we'll call them the antis are describing it, it still doesn't, physics don't match up. You would have a broken bone below the head. You would have something, it's contusion, anything. Doesn't make sense.
That's clearly the testimony. That's clearly the area of inquiry that the state needs to be worried about the most. Right. Because that's the thing that you can't. I just did this in a post today in a reply to Jennifer Coffendaffer post.
She's blocking. I cannot respond. Like she blocked me.
She had me blocked forever and she unblocked me because I think at some point she thought she might be able to get something on me. It didn't work out for her. But she did have me blocked forever. And now I'm unblocked. And I replied she said, made a big deal about the feds investigated public corruption and they closed their investigation and they didn't bring anything to the table. I'm like, well, except for the fact that they proved through the ARCA experts that Karen Reed's car didn't hit John O'Keefe. You know what I mean? It's like you might as well tell your viewers the rest of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Let's do this really quick. I did have some chats come through. We'll pull those up. And then I want to go back just really quick. I'm actually going to just answer this. It's funny because Lauren and I were talking about, and you talked about how people say, the public, some people say the public perception of Karen is that she doesn't care about John. And Jason was just talking about that. And it was funny. We were watching the Ted Daniel Part 2 interview. And, and like she said in there, like a lot of people don't realize she went through a year of grieving before any of this got brought to the forefront. And that's where I said April 18th, 2023, the Turtle Boy story is what broke this wide open. So before that, it was really just Karen and her family and her attorneys on their own. And then this got blown wide open. So you don't know the stage that she went through for a year. And I think, and this is just my personal opinion, you get to a point, and I know that in the back of her mind and in her heart, it will always be there for John O'Keefe. But now they're fucking saying, like, you did this, you have to fight for your life now. You're fighting for your life and fighting for the life of John to get the truth out there. So I think you do go through certain stages of grieving. And believe me, I'm sure, and I'm not speaking for Karen, but I'm sure there's probably some nights that she's like fucking loses it about this whole situation, and still loses it. But there's a point where you're going to have to, put all that motion and push it towards, that forefront and fight for your life now and fight for John's together and make sure that people understand, like, hey, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Right.
do this, and I'm going to prove to the world that I didn't do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you have to.
She's had some
You
time
have to
process and
disassociate.
grieve
Sorry.
a little bit.
What's that, Jay?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you have to disassociate too. Like, there's no way she can't be lost in her emotions,
Yeah.
worried
no.
about, you know, John's. I hate to say it, John's gone. Like, he's not
Yeah.
coming back. You know what I mean? And the only thing that she can do,
Steph.
the best way for her to honor John O'Keefe is to force them to find out who's responsible for his death. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real. She has to protect herself. She has to do things, and I think disassociation is actually not unusual in traumatic situations. I can tell
Very
you,
common.
yeah, my mom died a year ago last October.
So
right?
sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The trolls love, posting pictures of her and doing different things like that. 'Cause that's
very-
That's
disgusting.
yeah, that
Jesus.
doesn't bother me when they do it, because it just means that I'm being effective and they're thinking about me and
Yeah.
things along those lines.
Yeah,
But
in
I
their
can
head,
tell
yeah.
you that
Yeah.
we're here, almost a year and a half later. I've never read my mom's obituary.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Huh.
I went to the funeral. I did those things. But for me, it's just like, yep, this is here. I'm going to put it over here. Eventually I'm going to get through that and deal with it. Right. But thank you. But I disassociated because that's what I needed to do in order to get past that piece of
It's
it.
a defense mechanism.
It is. And
Yeah.
everyone handles things differently.
Right.
And I'm sure that moment of vulnerability is going to open up a new line of troll attacks toward my mom or whatever else. But it's
That
okay,
sucks.
because when I think about that, and I think about how my mom would have felt about them, my mom had a phrase that when she was really mad, she'd tell people to go take a flying fuck. And so every time one of those trolls now tries to come back and do that, I'm just going to smile in my head and hear my mom tell them to go take a flying fuck.
I love that. Yeah,
But-
I mean, listen, Jay, I've heard, like, even I've been open about, my brother on the channel. My brother committed suicide. And the reason that I bring that up is because I just let people know that there is help out there, and that's what I steer people in that direction of, listen, things can get bad in life, but they don't get that bad. And it's a learning situation. And I've heard people use that again. Oh, your brother would be fucking so mad at you right now. How the fuck do you know what my brother? I'm going to tell you right now, my brother would be so proud of me for what I'm doing. I can tell you right now, he would be sitting right beside me, supporting me in this. And he would probably have the biggest fucking Free Karen Reed sign on his property, his lawn, wherever he was living at that time. I can tell you, because that's who he was. He was just that type of person.
Yeah.
So
I gotta jump off, guys.
all right.
Sorry, but that was a
Thanks
great
for joining,
story, man. Bri, bring the passion. Lauren, bring the passion.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for jumping
Bye,
on.
Mike.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mike. Finally nice to be at the same place at the same time.
Yes.
I know. I always read your tweets are like
Yeah.
wordsmith, my friend. Wordsmith.
Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
They're great.
You're
tweets.
very well written, and I love every one of them.
Yes.
And keep the good fight going, guys. I will talk to you. Thanks for having me on. I got to jump over to my other channel with Tommy's and some standout doing something crazy.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Keep
Thanks
him
for
in
having me
line.
on. All right, guys. Yeah, I will. That's tough. Yeah.
Bye. Super
All right.
quick. I just wanted to remind everyone that if you go over and donate to Karen's Defense Fund, just put something about LTL in your comment, because we're going to add them all up at the end. We want to see how much we can bring in for Karen today.
And then I made the commitment always like 25% off.
25%,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we don't even get to a certain amount, like I usually drop like $50 to $100 to her. So we'll do that today. Bob's asking, what is the temperature of the Boston PD? Pro or con Free Karen Reed, or is it dead silent from the rank and file? It's dead silent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dead silent. Jason, go ahead.
I have so one of the things, while we're talking about trolls, I have at some point I had to go to the police station here in Bristol, Connecticut, and have a conversation with them regarding the vast amount of threats that I get on an almost daily basis and different things that were happening. So I went and met with the police, had some conversations with them over a few days, and we came up with a plan in order to protect against swatting risk, right? Because that's the big fear, is that you're going to have a police officer with limited information and incorrect information kick your door. And what a lot of people don't know is here in Bristol, Connecticut, we had 2 police officers murdered just about 2 years ago that were responding to a call, and they were ambushed by a gunman. The 3rd police officer actually made a miracle shot and took out the gunman. But
wow.
It was a really bad and traumatic situation. And in any given night, if you drive through Bristol, Connecticut, almost all of the houses in town have their outside lights changed to a blue bulb.
Yeah.
Because it was just an amazing unifying event for the community where people were able to come together. And this is truly a situation where they were completely innocent victims. There was no police misconduct. They weren't targeted as specific police officers. It was a random, I'm going to shoot police today moment. And it was horrible. So every time I start to think about swatting and I think about things like that, I think about those cops, because I say, man, the cops who are going to come to my house are going to come here trying to do the right thing, just like those cops did. And someone's going to get hurt, or someone's going to get killed, or something's going to happen. And not just, I don't want to be in that situation. I actually don't want them to be in that situation or our town. So I went there. But it did give me the occasion to have to talk about why.
Yeah.
I was requesting this kind of thing. And I'm the first person that's done it in Bristol. So we kind of created a little thing.
Yeah.
But when I started talking about why and talking about how I'm commenting on this case and doing these different things, it was amazing to me, because the police shut their body cameras off, which normally I'm against. But in this case, it's because they wanted to have a private conversation with me. And one of the police officers, I won't mention his name, is involved in a organization that supports other police officers and has spent a great deal of time working with the Boston police in his role doing that. And he immediately turned his body camera off, came back out into the room and said, tell me what happened. Who do you think did it? And was like all into the case and talked to me about it. And I gave him the line that I give to everyone else, which is, I don't actually say who killed John O'Keefe, because it's the police's job and the district attorney's job to figure that out and charge the people appropriately. But I have thoughts, and he said, well, I'll tell you what, I think Brian Albert did it. And it came right out of his mouth. And he said, I've talked to my Boston police officer friends, and here's what they tell me. And he went on to recount. I won't tell the specific stories because I don't want to, get anyone on the hook there. But it's a story that I hear repeated over and over and over again when I talk to people from law enforcement. But that one was specifically relayed from members of the Boston police through this guy who was their friend, who was giving me his take on the case. And they're all pretty convinced that it was Brian Albert himself that did it.
It's funny you say that, because, we have a lot of conversations, and I have a lot of conversations in passing too. And people will just grab me, law enforcement officers, they'll grab me and just say, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing, keep fighting. And they can't be vocal about it, but they can come up privately to us and grab us. I mean, there's police officers and stadies that I've had out in front of that courthouse that grab me aside real quick and say, just keep doing what you're doing.
Some of the people that wave to us in front of the Canton police station are the Canton police. Not all of them. At this point, I know way too many individual members of the Canton Police Department. You know what I mean? From being there and hearing the stories about who they are.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't so good, I think, is my little code phrase that I'm going to give there. But I got pulled over on the way home from an event. I was coming home and I was speeding because I wanted to get home a little bit faster, and I got pulled over. A state trooper came up. Where are you coming from? Oh, well, I'm an independent journalist, and I was doing some coverage on a case in Massachusetts. What case? And as soon as you mention it, right away, like, oh, they all want to talk about it. They just can't do it publicly. So I would say that they, much like the rest of the community, there's probably like an 80-20, 80-20, 90-10 split, where even the police, who are, if they talk to you privately and they're honest, they're going to tell you the same thing, that doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. Let me pull this up right here. Angie's Wave, $5 says Grassroots is where it starts. We the people. I love that. Thank you so much. Courtney with a $10 says, question. When Jen sees John outside her sister's house, why was she not concerned about her sister and her nephew in the house? What if something happened to them, unless you already knew they were fine? Yeah. Yep. And then the Goodmans chiming in with a five membership. So welcome in new members. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I mean, we shouldn't be here. We shouldn't be here. 2 days away from jury selection starting. And I truly think that this time around, I've been talking about this, Jason, the last couple shows, is that I think you're going to see a new strategy from the defense team here. They say they have a witness that's going to come in and testify to Brian Albert's hitting people while drunk, the attitude that he has and displays and his violent nature. And I still think this time around, and I did this the other day, we went through the opening statement and the closing argument for the defense. We only heard reasonable doubt 3 times through those entire hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. And I think you're going to hear that more this time around. Hammer it home to the jury. If you don't believe that there's a framing that has gone on, I mean, just even what we see here is the totality of the evidence. There's just so much reasonable doubt. What do you think?
I think you're right. And we get in this, everyone gets tunnel vision, right? Like I say this all the time, like the other people that I talk to this case about, people on the street at the standouts, we come to this and we have this we have more than a layman's knowledge of this case, right? We know the people, the players, what they said. We know stuff that wasn't brought up in court, that appears in statements and documents. And we've had conversations with people who are intimately involved in doing things. And we take for granted what these 12 people know. So I think Mike had a good point when he was talking about having that juror join the defense team, the former juror, because I think a lot of people got criticized for criticizing the defense at the end of the last trial, right? We were in this situation and they said they should have done more. They should have done this. And I looked at it and I said, no, I think they did great, right? We have this situation, but I'm looking at that from my knowledge and not the knowledge of those 12 jurors. And I think they learned a lesson in the sense that they're not going to leave anything on the table this time and just assume like that the ARCA witnesses hit. The ARCA witnesses are the best evidence and they need to make sure that they're going to hit, not just assume like we did. And I'm guilty of it because you get in the mode where what you know versus what was presented in the lens to those jurors is 2 different things. And I think that, I think they're going to tighten that up this time. All indications are by their witness list and by all of the pretrial motioning that we see going on is that they are going to put on a much more comprehensive defense case. And I think that it's going to lead to an acquittal this time around.
Jason, let me ask you a question. Obviously we know that Aiden was put on the witness list and I'm curious to hear your take. I don't think they're going to call him. I think this is just another way to try to silence him and shut him down. Can he continue to talk, or because he's on that witness list now, he's going to have to think of some alternative here to continue?
I'm not sure what they could. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't know how far Judge Bev is going to be willing to push it. Like, I'm not sure what they could. Are they going to call him and hold him in contempt if he talks about it? Like, are they going to do these things? I haven't seen it yet, but obviously, when Gretchen Voss was on the witness list in the first trial, she filed a motion to, and she filed a motion to squash the subpoena as a witness, and it was successful. And I think that I haven't seen if someone's filed that yet on his behalf, but they should.
Yeah,
they should definitely file a thing. But I think part of that is we also need to see what's coming up tomorrow, or I'm sorry, on Monday, and see how that plays out in regard to. Is it Sunday? I don't even know what day of the week it is.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I've been working around the clock. I apologize. It's still Saturday to me, but I don't know how that's going to play out on Monday with the phone information and Cosgrove and Brennan trying to work together in terms of whether they're going to get Aiden's communications, whether there are any hurtful communications in that way or anyway. Obviously, we had a great result at the end of the week. We'll see what happens at the beginning of the week. And I think that's going to play into it. If they don't end up by getting those communications or they don't show anything, I think he'll have a much better chance of getting his subpoena to testify quashed, in which case he won't even, he'll get removed from the witness list and they'll be able to go on business as usual.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a witch hunt. I mean, and I saw this coming too in the last maybe 3 hearings. You saw Brennan talking a lot more about Aiden, and I'm like, yeah, they're going to try to lump him into this. And then obviously, how fucking strange was that to see Aiden and Karen sitting at the same defense table? That was just bizarre, right? I mean,
I mean, the entrance was iconic. I mean, it literally, that clip of them walking in and the stare down.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about people liking drama. I mean, that clip is going to be memorialized forever in trial history in terms of like, that's a dramatic moment, probably more so than almost anything else you've seen. And it was crazy. And I do think, my theory initially, like everyone else's, was they're just trying to silence Aiden. They're just trying to silence Aiden. But more and more, it looks like, I don't think it's going to work, because the way the tea leaves are reading with how even Judge Bev is responding to things, I think it was an attack on Yannetti. I think it's always been an attack on Yannetti, because Yannetti is the Pro Hac Vice sponsor for the entire defense team. And if you can get to Yannetti, you can have a hedge on your bet to try and throw the entire defense team into peril. It's not going to work. It's too far.
Yeah. And I love go ahead. I'm sorry, Jason, finish.
No, that was
no, I was just going to say, and I love the fact that Yannetti called that out. Like, here we are, and we're sitting here in this final hearing. It was either the final hearing and the hearing. No, it was the hearing before that. And he goes, and we have the Commonwealth, Hank Brennan, that's literally saying that he wants a fair trial for both sides. But every day that we walk into this hearing, or every other day, there's a motion, and it's like you're suppressing Karen Reed's rights. So, like, what are we doing here? You want a fair trial on your side. We want a fair trial on our side, and we're not getting it. All you're doing is throwing a bunch of shit motions against the wall to try to shut down every avenue that we have to represent our client. It's insane. I think Yannetti's right. 100% correct on that. And now it's like, okay, well, that didn't work. So let's start dragging Aiden into it and see what he's got in his phone and what they were talking about. Fucking cares. They have every single right to talk.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And, the trolls are, oh, David Yannetti commented and said you were doing a good job on none of that means anything. And
it's not illegal for him to say that.
It's not illegal for him to give information. They had no gag order in place. They could share information freely. There is no, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous assertion that they make to try to give the appearance of something that's not actually there. Right. And even what they're saying isn't illegal. So it's a moot point. There's no reason to even talk about it. As the trolls like to say, it's a mute point, but it's a moot point.
It's a moot point.
It really is. It really is interesting. It was really nice seeing Judge Sisitsky the other day. Kind of actually do what we should see Bev do. Honestly, we've got the extended buffer zone. I still think. Oh, thank you for that, Java.
Thank you, Java. Appreciate that.
I still think the first buffer zone is unconstitutional. I haven't had a lawyer be able to tell me yet how a Superior Court justice or judge has the legal authority to control what happens on private property surrounding the courthouse. Like, if you want to say the courthouse complex and the sidewalks and do things like this, we'll see how long the trial goes, because I'm very much contemplating going and getting arrested in the buffer zone in order to have a case, because you see the case with, I'm not even kidding. By the way, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I got to say it quieter because my wife hears me trying to come downstairs and hit me. But I'm not abused. I'm not battered. It's fine.
Just kidding.
But actually, on my first date with my wife, I go big, and my first date was I took her to Broadway to see Rent.
Wow.
She's going to hate that I'm telling this story, but she had something going on with like her arm or her shoulder. She was in a lot of pain, and I kept noticing throughout dinner and throughout the date. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she finally told me, and I'm like, well, we need to go to the hospital. Like, let's go. So I took her to the hospital, and it was the first time that I figured out that they do that thing where they're like, they ask her quietly, like, is everything okay? Is this is our first date. I got accused of battering my wife. So, but anyway, my point about the buffer zone was, she didn't even make the required, if she was going to make a ruling, even for just the courthouse property or the sidewalks around the courthouse, she never even made the required findings for her to make a kind of ruling like that. And what happens? I talked to Mark Randazza about this. There are no, they appealed, and in their appeal got denied to the SJC. They appealed to the First Circuit. Could they appeal to the Supreme Court? Sure. But each judicial circuit in the United States has a Supreme Court justice that's responsible for doing their motions practice for things like injunctions. And in the First Circuit, it's Judge Ketanji Brown. And she's already made statements publicly against the First Amendment. She's already done things. It's hard to read the tea leaves as to what she would do, but you're going to do all kinds of money. You're going to get this appeal. It's probably not going to be expedited. So you're going to have to petition for cert. You're going to do these. The trial's going to be over before anyone gets any action on that.
It's
but
all
somebody needs to do something, because really over and over, you see the defense makes claims and she doesn't hold an evidentiary hearing. The defense says, hey, these experts are objectionable. She doesn't hold a Daubert hearing, and she just makes decisions seemingly 99% in favor of the prosecution without even doing the work required. She just does it because she says she can. And I think that's probably one of the most dangerous things here. I haven't found anyone who's convinced me that Judge Canone is corrupt in the sense that she's part of a cover-up. It could be, but she's definitely biased.
100%.
And she definitely seems to have this like personal affront to her authority situation going on, where she's just going to spit out decisions based on how she feels at any given moment. And that's dangerous.
Yeah. Let's do this one last check-in, and then we are going to wrap up here in a minute. I just want to thank Jason for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
And you can check him out on X at Not Haley. I always get the last
name. HW on your case.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me just pull on this one person. We have Lynn checking in from all the people out there down in Plymouth. Busy. Lynn, how are you? Can you hear me?
Something is going on with this. I have no idea.
Hi, Lynn.
I don't think she can hear us. But checking in from Plymouth. Lynn, how are you? She can hear us.
Brian, are you talking to us?
I am.
Yeah.
How are you? How's it going on down there?
Plymouth is awesome. I'm going to turn the phone around. You can see all the people.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Oh, wow. Good crowd down there.
I wonder how big it is. It must be really big. Oh, you guys are down at the waterfront.
Yeah,
today.
at the waterfront today.
Yes, we're at the beautiful Plymouth waterfront. It's a little cold and gray. Cold, as you know, because you were out in Dedham.
Yeah.
But we have probably about 50 people down here. There's
That's
a huge
awesome.
group of people over here. Oh, here's some friends.
Oh, look at that.
Do you see the devilish Auntie Bev? The devilish.
I
love the waterfront area. I grew up there.
I love it. Tell Renee we said hi.
There's a large crowd in Plymouth and a really small rock.
Yeah.
We're going to walk over here to the Rotary,
All right.
where anybody entering America's hometown can see what we're up to.
I love it.
You got to go get some ice cream at Kilwin's next to the Rotary when you're done.
Yeah, it's good over there.
Good ice
I'm
cream.
making notes on that. Thank you.
It's so good. Digital Elite checking in, say great to see you, Lauren and Jason. Yeah, we had a lot of people on today. You can go back and rewind the stream after.
Lots of fun.
A lot of fun here today, and just trying to raise some awareness for Karen Reed. Look at that sign. That's great.
Love it.
Here's some more of our supporters.
I love it.
That's awesome. I love all
Oh, look at this, Tommy.
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 Listen, I want to thank you personally for all you do just on Twitter, but putting the message out there.
Look at this one. I love it. Karen Reed frame. I love it.
Live with LTL.
Tommy. Look at that. Great. Is that Renee? Hi, Renee.
Nope, that's Kelly. That's.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the view is
I'll get
really
to
small.
Renee. Hold on.
Yeah. Say hi to Renee really quick. She's the organizer down there. She
Can you
runs
get a picture of your sign? We're on LTL with Brian.
I love that.
Oh, I think he was
Yeah,
at
it was in
Dedham
Dedham
today.
Yep, that
You
guy
were in
was in
Dedham
Dedham.
today, this thing? Yep, he was in
Yep.
Dedham.
Good stuff.
We're not keeping track like the trolls, though.
Yeah.
We got a bucket of ducks.
Oh, look at that. So creative.
Renee, we're on with Brian.
I liked the sign at Dedham today that said firecracker, and then they added the D, fired.
There she is.
Hi, Renee.
Renee.
It's
How are
getting
ya?
busy out here. It's great. It's
That's good.
Good to see you.
We got a lot of noise out here.
I love it.
Did you give him a big scan from the
I
Rotary?
gave him a
It looks
scan, yeah.
great. We have Brian Johnson here with his
All right.
girlfriend. They're holding our new banner that Deanna made. It's awesome. Did he see that?
Yeah, we
it
saw
looks
that.
great. Yeah.
A bucket of ducks.
So, yeah. A bucket of ducks. I know.
I love
Oh,
it.
hi, everybody. Everybody's welcome to come down. I've had quite a few people come down here that didn't have signs, and I posted. I do have extra signs. So
Awesome. She does. I've seen
all
it.
kinds. You can pick and choose, but you can't keep them.
Yeah.
Our boy
Renee.
bands are back. These boy
I love
bands,
it.
they've been back all summer.
That's great.
We're on with Brian
Yep.
LCL.
Get locked up? Brian. Yeah, she's stealing frightening her. Wait, did Karen get locked up? Is that Karen?
No, this isn't Karen.
Karen.
One of our other signs, this is a new sign for us too.
Oh,
Right at
I love it. Oh, we're
no.
losing connection.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Glad that she was able to check in with
Glad
us.
she was able to check in with us. All right, Jason, any final words before we wrap up today? What do you think? What's going to happen here? What do you think the defense is going to hammer home this time around?
I think you were right. I think that there's going to be a much larger focus on reasonable doubt. Honestly, they just need to do the work and put on the whole case. We know the case. They know the case. And last time they took some things for granted. This time they're not going to leave anything on the table. They're going to go in, especially with the addition of Alessi to the defense team. They are going to go in and it's going to be fact after fact after fact. I think they'll do it in as concise a way as possible. They're going to use demonstratives and chalks and things like that to help the jury. But the truth of the matter is this has always been a winning case, and they're going to go and they're going to conduct it that way. And I feel like we're headed for an acquittal this time, and we're not done with the bombshells. There's going to be more bombshells coming out in the next.
I think there's going to be a lot more mouth dropping moments like we had,
especially with John's phone. There's going to be a lot that comes from that. I think
we had the Higgins with the lawyer, the Proctor text. I think there's going to be more of that come out.
I think so too.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a 4-month member. May the force ba be with you. 4-month member says, great live today. Free Karen Reed. All right, Lauren, where are we at as far as, so I got 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, $55. So 155 with the website.
100 donated by JC. I think it was JC to the Defense Fund page. So thank you for that. Thank
Appreciate
you for your generous
that.
donation.
And then what do we have on through
This
that came
is
through the channel?
55.
55. You know what? I'm just going to donate the $55 to Karen Reed's Defense Fund today. So we'll make that donation at the end of the stream, and it will say LTL chat raiser. We'll put the date up there, 3/30/25 for full transparency. You can check it out on her direct link. I want to thank Jason today for jumping in. All the special guests that touched from around the standouts here in Massachusetts. We had people that called in from Florida. We had Britt Happens and Lauren in the very beginning of the show at their standout. Love seeing everybody. Boston Mike for joining, and all the amazing people around the nation today that stood out for Karen Reed. We truly appreciate it. We're 2 days away from this trial starting, jury selection, and Karen needs us more than ever. So that's going to be it. Any parting words?
No, just thank you for having me again. I think I'm going to stop by the Bourne Standout on my way home.
Cool.
I think I'm going to double check, but I think it's 2 to 4 p.m. So I should be able to make that for a little bit. But yeah, no, great show. I always love the National Standout Days. It's lots of good energy. Love seeing everybody down at Dedham. Nothing but good vibes. And yeah, it was great. It's been a great day.
It really has been a great day. Jason, we got to have you come back during the trial, and we'll talk a little bit more. I love having you on the show.
That sounds great. I'll be in Dedham on Tuesday, so we'll
awesome.
We'll head out and see what happens down there. So
all right, Jay. Thank you so much. All right, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. All right, we're gonna head out of here. Thank you all so much for joining the live stream today. I'm Brian. A lot of people call me BLT. This is LTL. That's Lauren DC right there. And we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks for watching this afternoon. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please, let's get this channel to 40,000 subscribers.
Let's do it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. And we're making waves. And we're going to make it happen today. So I'll put up my donation at the end of the stream, $55 to Karen Reed's Defense Fund. Thank you for the generous donator that put the 100 spot up there. And if you're going to make any donations, if you watch the stream to Karen Reed's Defense Fund link, just put LTL in your comment. We just want to stimulate some donations off here and keep that defense fund moving. All right, everybody, we're out.
Bye.
Peace.